COVID-19 is here. You've got a lot of time on your hands. Probably want to stay as fit as possible, potentially learn some super awesome ways to impress your friends. So I want to talk a little bit about the pistol squat or the one-legged squat. It is one of the coolest movements on the planet. It takes a ton of mobility, a ton of balance, a ton of strength, but it is definitely something that you could be working on while you're on lockdown and come away with this crazy apocalyptic time with some new trick and awesome skill in your bag. So if you've never seen one before, it looks something like this. Again, we call it a pistol squat because you kind of look like a pistol on the bottom. Like I mentioned earlier, it has three big requirements and components. So we got Camille here so we can talk about the requirements, and then he can demo a test for each of them to kind of find out, one, if you're deficient in an area that you may need to train up before you get to the pistol, and two, just to make sure that you're not going to like totally ruin yourself by doing this. So the first thing we mentioned earlier is that we need to have some mobility or the ability to get into a position in order to do a pistol. So an easy test for it is just to do a feet together, knee together squat. So Camille's got both feet together, he's got his knees together, and he's going to get full range motion, which is hip crease below knee crease, and stand back up. Show me two more, Camille. You can kind of see with Camille, we're getting this big blowout in his low back at the bottom, which is less than ideal, not wrong for a pistol, but less than ideal for a loaded squat. So we kind of see, even in this test, like there's something going on in there. We may need to figure out what it is. He can still progress forward with the pistol, but he should definitely know that he's got something to work on. So our second test is a balance test. Super simple test. Camille's going to go down on the bottom of the squat on two legs, and then he's going to pick up a foot. So if he can do that, he's got the balance for the pistol. Go ahead and do it on the other side. So we see maybe a little less balance on the left leg than right leg. I think we're putting him on the spot, and that's a little hard too. So Camille definitely has the balance. If you can't do that, then we know, hey, the balance is something we're going to need to work on before we start repping out pistols at happy hour, virtual happy hour beers with our friends. Last test is a strength test. This is a reverse lunge test or a shrimp squat test. Camille is just going to simply pick his left leg up and then lunge backwards, touch the ground and stand back up, and then go to the other side. Make sure you can do the same thing on the other side. Beautiful. Camille's 28 and jacked. This is easy work for him. If you guys have a barbell and some weights at home too, another strength test you could use is just to simply do a body weight back squat. If you're able to back squat your body weight, totally have enough strength to be able to hit the pistol. So let's talk about, hey, I failed some of these tests, right? I'm not able to have the mobility, balance, or strength in order to do a pistol. What are some things I can be doing? Maybe how can I figure out exactly what the problem is? So let's talk about mobility first. Very, very, very common issue with most active people is actually ankle mobility. They don't have the 56 degrees of required dorsiflexion to be able to get in the bottom of the squat. So a simple test to see, hey, is it my ankle mobility? Is just a drop, a little lift on the floor. You could use a book. We're at the gym, so we're going to use a plate. And we're going to throw both heels on there, and we're going to go ahead and get in the bottom of the squat. If I can now get in the bottom of a squat, like you can even see with Camille, the position's much better. Hey, I know that I have an ankle mobility issue. Doesn't mean that you can't start working on the pistol, just means you might need to have a little heel lift as we're working on it, and maybe go check out like one of the cool ankle mobility programs that a guy like Dr. Zach Long has written over on the Barbell Physio. So, mobility. Got that. Second thing would be strength, right? So if you do have a barbell at home, easiest way to get stronger would be to just simply go out there and start doing some back squats. But another little thing that I think is really smart, really cool, also starts training us for the pistol, is to use some sort of elevated surface to do some box squatting or box pistoling. So Camille is going to pick up a foot, he's going to sit down on the box and then stand back up. Let's see it again. This A starts getting us in that shape, in that position to do a pistol, and then B also starts developing the unilateral or side-to-side strength to do a pistol. So it's a super handy way to do it. Also, you probably have a chair around your house. Most of them are around 20 inches tall, maybe a couch. So this is the easy thing to start doing. Once you feel like you've got successfully mastery of that, let's say once you could do like I don't know, 50 each leg without a lot of fatigue, you're probably strong enough to move to this next level, which is to get on top of an elevated surface. Camille's going to turn which way, one way or the other, it doesn't matter, I don't care. He's going to pick a leg up, and now he's going to pistol on top of the box. I like this one because it allows him to drop this down. The balance factor is not so high, but go ahead and stand, Camille. Now we're really using that exact same strength requirement that we're going to need for the pistol. So if he can start doing this, we are very, 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 very close. We're like days away from being strong enough, maybe hitting sets of 10 of these each side daily for like a week or something, and I think you could probably start chasing it. So the balance piece. If we don't have balance, the easiest way to work on balance is to get in a position where you don't have balance and start being balanced. So turn towards me a little bit, Camille. If I had a partner at home, I would sit in the bottom, show me 2 feet. I would grab my partner's hands, and I would pick up my foot and hold it. And then maybe I get to the point where I can let go of a hand. Okay, I'm getting more balance, and now I can let go of both hands. Awesome. Magically, I have enough balance to probably do a pistol. Another way we can work on this is go ahead, get in 2, and then Camille can stick his foot out here. Let that rest on the ground and start trying to lift it. Go ahead and lift. Good. And then bring it back down. So maybe he can hold it for 1 second to start, and then we progress to 3 seconds, and then 5 seconds, and then 10 seconds, and just keep going and going and going on both sides, and all of a sudden we have the balance to do a pistol squat. The hardest part of this whole deal is that you could potentially pass the balance test, you could pass the strength test, you could pass the mobility test, but still not do a damn pistol. And that is because it's a super hard movement that requires a whole ton of proprioception and kinetic awareness and things firing at the right time and the software of the body being ready and set up to be able to do this thing. So if you pass all 3 tests and you still can't do a pistol squat, this rolling pistol progression is a great way of starting to train these positions and pieces of the movement to build into it. So Camille, why don't you show us what like the full deal looks like when we're done, and then we'll talk about how to build it up. Camille, you got to do it down on 1, up on 1. He likes weed. Good. So that's the full thing. That's the full iteration of the rolling pistol. The way that you progress into this is to start with a down on 2, up on 2 progression. So he's going to go down on 2 feet, up on 2, boom. If you can't do that right away, you can use a little hand lift to get it. So let's see what that looks like. Down on 2. Good. Use my hands for assist. And that follows with the rest of the progression. So the next piece is to go down on 2, up on 1. So Camille, let's see what that looks like. Beautiful. And then again, the last piece is to go down on 1 foot, up on 1 foot. Awesome. So super cool. Even that right there is an awesome party trick. Once you progress to that level, you're going to be ready to take the pistol. When you get to that point, like just try and lower down into the bottom as slow and as controlled as possible. And then once you hit there, bounce right back up. Again, got some time on your hands, don't know how to fill it. This is a really good way of A, making yourself strong, B, making your ass look great, and C, having a really cool party trick to show off to all your friends once this thing is over. I'm Coach Johnny B. I hope you've enjoyed the pistol. This is Camille the Great. Done.